What's going on, Mindful Reality family? Good morning. It's your boy. Unfortunately, significantly better today than how I felt yesterday. I didn't think so. I didn't think I would. But I just hope that I can survive this trip that I'm taking today in the evening because I'm actually taking the bus rather than flying. I do take the bus occasionally to save money. And this is one of those times because I was just in Canada last month. And at the time I had booked my trip to Canada for last month, I was not aware of the function that was going on this month. So I put my money towards that function when it comes to getting my plane tickets and the rental car, etc. So I didn't really have the extra money to spend on plane tickets this time around. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I've done one of these videos for a few people. I think I did one. I know I did one for Ayana from Road Rules and the Challenge. I know I did one for John Brennan. I think I did one for Sam from the Circle. I think I did one for Hannah from Big Brother. There was like 4 or 5. Alyssa. I think I did one for a good portion of the people that I interviewed, essentially. But I had this idea uh, that I have stopped doing, I guess just because I have not done interviews in a long time. But I had this idea of making kind of a recognition post for people that have done things for me or assisted me on my platform. Now, she didn't assist me on my platform, so she doesn't fit that particular category, but she's definitely someone who made an impact on me when I met her. So I've mentioned that in my life, a lot of these challengers I never expected to meet. Matter of fact, I never expected to meet any of them because I had watched the show already up until what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, close to 3 years now. I had watched the show and I didn't even know, even while living here, I didn't know that they had a lot of those challenge events here in New York. I just was not in the loop to that stuff. I only got in the loop, and of course I wouldn't have my tissue here, but I only got in the loop because of joining Facebook groups that had information about when they were having these events. So if I could have told you the people that I would most like to meet before I met any of them, I would have told you I have a list of a top 3, and those top 3 would be Cara Maria, CT, and Wes Bergman. I never got to meet Wes Bergman in person, but I did get to interview him twice, which was really dope. And yeah, I did get to interview him twice. But then I met CT and I met Cara, and both of those, for different reasons, were amazing experiences. I can't really do this justice just because I don't feel that well, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Hi Vicky, hi Amanda, and hi Nathan. So really, so for the other people that I met, they were all challenge events. I went to all challenge events before, and for the event that Cara was there for. It was actually nothing to do with the challenge. It was an event about spreading fibroids awareness, which I just happened to see her post in her story. She's like, I'm going to be here in New York speaking about fibroids awareness because she had fibroids. Or I guess she has fibroids, and she had she didn't have them removed. She did I can't think of the name of what it's called, but it wasn't like a meet and greet per se. It was like they go up on stage, they have a Q&A on the stage about fibroids, and then after the Q&A, there's a dinner, and it's a good thing I paid for the dinner, because if I had not paid for the dinner and I just paid for that part of it, I might not have even gotten a chance to speak with her that extensively. I'm more than a little stuffed up, to be honest with you. I'm full out sick. I'm just pushing through it because unfortunately I have so much to do before I leave. And if I were to just be like, I'm calling out, I would be super behind when I come back. And this is not the kind of job that I can afford to be behind. I mean, I'm always going to be behind to some degree, but I can't afford to be that behind. So essentially, I sat through the whole event. It was actually kind of interesting. They had Angela Yee from the Breakfast Club. They had some other people from some shows that I don't really watch, some other reality shows that I don't watch, but if anyone was interested in who was there, I have that information. But that's neither here nor there. I stayed and I sat through the whole event. At the end of the event, she was there with Polly, her photographer, because apparently she has like a traveling photographer, I believe, that comes with her to places, and I think maybe a friend or two that they had with them also. And I think I should get some tea. I'll do it later. Yeah. And they were just standing there, and unlike challenge events where you go to the challenge event and there's swarms of people around the cast member, this is like nobody was talking to them. They were just talking amongst themselves. So I was like, is it weird? Like, if it was a strange thing, because at a challenge event, when you see them alone, you run over and grab them because you're competing with people for their attention. So this is like, are they trying not to talk to anybody? Are they avoiding people? Like, why is it that they're standing there and there's nobody talking to them right now? I don't get it. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Bev. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to buy some Dayquil and or NyQuil, because like I said, I have a 10-hour bus ride and I'll be miserable if I go through the whole ride feeling like this. Oh, this guy just found his boot on his car. Ouch. That is rough. I've never had a boot on my car, but I definitely woke up to no car one time, and that was a terrible feeling, because my car was towed. It was taken to an impound lot. I hope to never have that experience again in my life, but that's neither here nor there. I'm probably going to redo this whole video at some point, because the reason why I say that is because I like to send these to the people who I make them for, if I know that I have a way to contact them, and I know I have a way to contact her. I sent out a few others. I sent John his, I sent Ayana hers, so I'll probably redo this video. But anyways, I walked over to her, and I think I said, Cara. she didn't respond. So initially, I was like, oh no, don't tell me she's one of those that they're not how they appear to be on TV. Because I always thought, just based on what I saw of her, that she would be a cool person to meet and to speak to. So then they kind of shuffled over to the side when I said, hi, Cara. So then I was like, I didn't come all this way. I said to myself, I didn't come all this way over here to not even get a chance to speak to her. Oh, what is happening with this car? And I had also brought her a gift that I was trying to give her. So I never seen a boot on a. Oh, these are. If I could have flipped the camera fast enough, there was about 3 on that block alone. It's one thing New York City loves. It, like, having a car in New York City is hard. Yeah, so not interested because at that point I had not really seen her talk to any fans. Not that I saw anyone go up to her and she turned them away. It's just that the fans were towards the back of the room, and her and Polly and her couple of people that she was with were standing in a corner towards the front of the room. So I went back around and I was like, hi, Car. And she was like, oh, you're here to see me? And I was like, yeah. It almost reminds me of when I met Sam. Something somewhat similar happened to Sam where I was trying to get her attention. And the reason I couldn't get her attention was because she didn't think that I was there to see her. So she was like, oh, I didn't know. Like, I thought that we were in your way. That's why we moved. She said, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that you were actually here to see me. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much the only reason that I came. So then I was like, I have something for you. She's like, what is it? And then, you guys saw the video where I gave her the bag with the 3 stars. And then I was trying to speak because I had something to say. I had something to say while I was giving her the stars, but she was so excited to see those stars. And she took them out of the bag. And she was like, 1, 2, 3. And she was very excited about the stars. Once she finally calmed down and could pay attention to what I was saying, I had a conversation with her. I touched on a lot of things in that conversation, as a matter of fact, where I was talking about, her era, and the fact that I was so happy to be able to meet her, what I thought of the Challenge All-Stars 4 final, and how it was unfair. What was the other things? Just some of her general experiences on the challenge, and just how I felt like I told her that I felt like it was amazing to see her growth on the show. And then she was telling me about the fact that she never thought that she would be somebody who wins the challenge, and she was not originally like the typecast. Obviously, she's different. She was not the original typecast, and she didn't fit in. And how nowadays she likes the fact that she can really feel comfortable just being on there and being herself. But after that, she was like, Mark, come over here. She said, I need to get a picture with you. I want to post this on my Instagram story. She said, I'm going to tag you in it. What's your Instagram handle? I'm going to follow you. She said, she was like, do you have a marker? I said, what, for what? And she said, can you sign it for me? I was like, sign it? I was like, you sign it for you? I thought that I didn't hear that correctly. Like, why would she need my signature on that thing? But that really made me feel good, because even though I say these challenge people or these show people are not necessarily celebrities to me, I consider them on a tier of like TikTok stuff, social media influencers. That's basically what I consider those people for the most part. There are a few people that have transcended the shows and done, like, I was just talking to Ayana about Karamo the other day, and who else, like Mike the Miz. I can't remember this comedian's name right at this second, but there's this comedian that I can't think of his name right now from the challenge that is like famous outside of the challenge and started from there. There's a few, but for the most part I consider them like, successful social media influencers, and I'd put her somewhat in that category as well. But regardless, it's someone who I've watched and admired for a plenty of years, and was so humble and grateful. What I just mentioned right there, nobody has ever done that. Maybe to a degree, Sam, but only the part about following me on Instagram and posting a video. She posted a video in her Instagram, but I guess her reaction was kind of on a similar vein. It's just that I knew her less, because she was somebody who was on one season of a show that I was watching, whereas Cara Maria is somebody that I watched for however many seasons she did, several seasons over several years. I think we're almost the same age, and I think I was a teenager and she was a teenager, maybe, or early 20s. It was a good while ago when she had her fresh meat season. So it just was something that made me feel good, that something that I took the time to put together was actually that important. And then even cooler was that when my birthday came around, I was deciding about getting a cameo for myself. And originally I was like, I know I get good cameos from Wes, because I had gotten a great one from him before. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to hit up Wes on Patreon. I'm going to tell him what I need, and he's going to make me a great one. And then at the last minute, I said to myself, Wes has gotten enough of my money. And I've gotten stuff from Wes before. I did 2 interviews with Wes. I have a cameo from Wes. I've had a few cool Zoom conversations with Wes before. So let me try somebody else. And at the last minute, I was like, you know what? Let me see if Cara does one. So I saw that she does one. And my requirement, so she made a video that was, I want to say, approximately like a little bit over 9 minutes. Oh, my car needs gas. Goodness. Yeah, but I think the video was approximately over 9 minutes. I have made requests for these people before where I put so much details in the request and get like a 1 minute video. Like, if y'all saw this video that I just did, that I just got from not Nelson. Oh god. What's his name? Darrell. If you saw this video that I just got from Darrell, I filled that whole box where you can put the requirements in there, the capacity, and the video was like 57 seconds, which people said they liked it, but not a lot of bang for your buck. And that's why I wouldn't get Darrell, to be honest with you. If this was the reason I picked Darrell, was not because I picked Darrell, it's because I put it out there that I wanted to pool money together to get a cameo. What are you honking at? Anyways, I wanted to pool money together to get a cameo, and they picked Darrell. So that's the only reason why he got picked. No, nothing against Darrell, but I've gotten so many cameos at this point that I've learned how to get the most bang for your buck. And a cool thing is, like, when you know somebody at least to some degree, you're probably going to get a better one, and it's going to be more of a personal one. But I will say, when I asked for hers, I didn't fill the box with anything. All I said, believe it or not, was it's going to be my 37th birthday. I want to know your best life advice and your best, the best thing that you've learned being on the challenge. So when she's like, I can't spoil it or whatever, I can't spoil what you haven't seen yet, I didn't even really ask for those specifics. But I believe that because of the conversation that I had with her in person, where I told her about my channel, and I even asked her for an interview, which unfortunately didn't happen, but I'll be honest, I'm trying to get that interview for free. But if I want an interview with her, she actually has a link on her page where you can just pay for one. I just haven't decided if that's worth it to me or not. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Shoot, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I was talking about the cameo that she did. Yeah, so she made this like really, 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 really good cameo, like better than I could ask for. I looked at her cameos, and they give you an average time of how long they make each of their cameos, and I think her average time was a little bit under 3 minutes. This one was like over 9 minutes. So saw her, when I gave her those stars, she said to me, she was like, I'm going over to Paris tomorrow. She said, I'm leaving for Paris tomorrow, and then after I go to Paris, I'm going to LA, and then from LA I'm going home. Like, I'm not going to be home for another 2 weeks. And I was thinking to myself, these are some cardboard stars that I bought from some online craft store, spray painted them with some Michael's spray paint. So I said to myself, chances are either they're gonna flatten or something, or she's not gonna keep them, and she just said that to make me feel good. I was done. I was over that at that point. I was just happy at the reaction. But then when she did the cameo, actually she said, I'm gonna carry these in my luggage like they're eggs, like they're precious eggs that I don't want to crack. So I was like, okay, we'll see what happens. She said it's gonna be a challenge figuring out how to fit these in my luggage. So to my surprise, the first thing that she did was take me on the tour and show me that she had indeed preserved those stars and then placed them in various spots in the apartment, which I thought was very cool and very thoughtful. And then the message, I can't remember if I said this before. I believe I did not say this on here, but I said this to her because you're allowed to do like a response or a video response or whatever. Even though I think I gave her a chat response and a video response. But basically, the challenge part of what she said was cool. Like when she said that Johnny and Laurel and the difficulties that they presented to her helped to make her who she is. And she said she told them that on the show, but it was not aired on this season. But she said something else, which was something to the effect of, let me see if I can remember this right. You don't have to have it don't think that you have to have it all together. That was her life advice. Don't think that you have to have it all together, because all of us are always trying to get it together. So if you have a big goal or task that you think is unmanageable, break it down into small manageable pieces and tackle it, one piece at a time. And she said that's what makes your hero story. And I said, I don't know what made her say that on that day, but that was literally exactly what I needed to hear on that day. The challenge stuff is like, cool, I could get anybody to do a cameo and speak about the challenge, but honestly, I don't follow people just to follow them. Like, oh, cool, you were on a TV show, so I follow you. If I'm actually following somebody, for the most part, from any of these shows, I feel like there's something that they bring to the table that makes them worth following. And sometimes I don't know exactly what that is, but I find out as I scroll through their page and see the types of things that they're posting. And that advice actually hit me, because that particular day, oh man, like earlier birthdays was more like, cool, I'm 21, like I'm 25, I'm just thinking about my celebration, it's no big deal, it's just another day, another age. But that particular one, as I saw myself knocking on the door of being closer to 40, I was thinking about all the things that I have tried to do in my life. Which, if my former life coach heard me say that, she would be like, stop using that terminology. You did not try. You did a lot of things. So I did do a lot of things. But there was things that I expected to get out of those things that I did that I didn't necessarily accomplish. And I was like, man, I've seen people, like certain athletes of mine that I look up to, that are like 41, 42, and they're having retirement ceremonies and statues put up outside the buildings, and they're in the Hall of Fame for their sport, and they're not that much older than me. And I'm like, I've put in just as much work as they have, but not in the sport, but just within my platform of the things I've been trying to do with my life. And sometimes I sit back and say, I don't feel like I've really gotten anywhere, and seeing that message from somebody that I consider to at least be successful, she has forged a successful career at what she does. That was very meaningful. So shout out to her. I don't know if she'll see this video. Like I said, this video is all over the place, but my thoughts tend to be all over the place also, because funny enough, something that I gained from doing this was that when I first started not a social media, but like YouTube, when I first started doing YouTube, I would spend so much time on it, writing it down, practicing what I was going to say before I got on here. I would sit down and I would type things out and write things out, and it would look like a dissertation before I even get started on the live. And actually, I didn't even have the confidence to do a live. For a while, for years, I didn't do an actual live. I would pre-record the videos. Like, I found an SD card that had a bunch of my 2022 Big Brother stuff before I started going live. And I would record a whole thing for 20 minutes long And then I wouldn't like it. I'd watch it back. I wouldn't like it. I would re-record it until I liked it. And then I found that people liked my unfiltered thoughts more than they liked my written stuff that took way more time and was less authentic, because I wrote and spoke more towards how people might react to those things rather than, just speaking off the top. It would be great to have her and Polly together. It's so funny because I actually met Polly at Big D's birthday party, and that was the first time I had ever spoken to him. So when I saw him, after I said hi to Cara, I was like, Paulie, I don't know if you remember, but I met you a couple of years ago in Philly, Big D's party. He's like, oh yeah, I do remember you. So I don't know how they were at the time. I think that they were having problems at that time. I just popped in to say hi. I have to study for my test today. The meds have kicked in a little bit, so I feel a little bit livelier than I did when I hopped on here. I have about a 4-hour window. Basically, from when I take these meds, I've seen that it takes about an hour before I start to feel better. They're supposed to be 4 hours, I think, or maybe 6, but they're good for about 4 of the 6. If it's 6, they're good for about 4. So by 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, probably about 1 o'clock or 12 or 1, that's when I'm going to need to get on my next dose. As bad as that is, it's the truth. I'm going to have to cut this off because I'm actually here. But you see if there's any comments here to read. Okay. I'm a big Cara fan. I'm kind of upset that I fell for the narrative that she was just plain awful. I remember, if I remember correctly, you're probably talking about the time period when Jordan and Tori were together, and then Jordan proposed to Tori on the show, and then Cara didn't go, and that was her villain arc on the show. So that's why I'm not upset about her doing a victory lap, because she's kind of doing a victory lap. Now, I really need to find somewhere to blow my nose. Okay, thank y'all for joining me. Clear it in. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content. Thank y'all.